This is Shalonda Turner with Live Life in Style, and I'm on the scene here at Neiman Marcus, and I am interviewing Jenny Packham, but I want to make sure I'm saying your name correctly. Is it Packham or
Packham?
Great. Okay, there wasn't too much variation to it, but I want to make sure I get everybody's names right. It's an amazing opportunity for you guys as my readers, so I'm so glad I get to interview her. So first of all, I was just asking her a little bit if this was her first time in Houston, Texas, and so you said it was. So what other places in the U.S. have you been to? Obviously New York, but...
Yeah, we've just actually been away for a couple of weeks. We've been in Los Angeles showing the collection to the stylists. We take a room in the chateau. And then we go to New York where we have our shows. So we had our bridal show at the weekend. So I spend most of my time coming to New York, and then usually with the show, we're so busy right up to the show, and then as soon as the show's over, I generally have to get back. So it is slightly frustrating. I've never, I haven't done too much travelling. I've done, obviously, Los Angeles. I've done the Grand Canyon, which was fantastic. I went over to Phoenix. I've been to Philadelphia, and now I've been to Houston. Oh, and I've been down to the Keys, which was really great. We've always had the greatest holidays actually coming to America.
That's great. So you're based in London now.
Yeah.
So one of my first questions was, why do you choose to show at New York Fashion Week?
Well, we've shown in London for a long time, and then we showed in Milan for a few seasons as well. And I think really nowadays it's really kind of, you don't actually have to
be right where
you don't have to be where you are. We wanted to come to America for various reasons. We started getting a lot of interest from the shops here, and we felt that it was very important for us to have an office based, which we do. We have a showroom in the meatpacking district. So from a business point of view, it was a good move. We found showing here, I think there's a real love of glamour, which links up very much with our sort of LA celebrity dressing. And it just kind of all made sense, really. And for me, it's great to show at the beginning of the season when everyone's, the press and the buyers, everybody really kind of fresh to the season. And I think I find the American culture was very welcoming to us and supportive. And I love the can-do attitude.
That's good. Well, I'm glad you're here and we're supporting you. And I know you do a lot of red carpet. So is there any celebrity that you haven't dressed yet that you would like to?
Oh, yes. I'd love to dress Kate Blanchett and Carrie Mulligan. There's always people sort of, and there's lots of new talent as well coming along, which is always really sort of exciting. So yeah, there's a lot of people out there who still like to dress.
Oh, great. Well, that's great. Because I obviously I'm obsessed with red carpets, and I love them. I'm like, oh, I know that. So let's back up a little bit and talk about how you got into fashion designing, and when did you decide that you want to be a fashion designer?
I think I was about 11, actually. I can't really quite remember how it happened. I was brought up in a family that was all about making and creating. My mother used to make all her own clothes. My grandmothers were dressmakers, but also very creative. My mum used to do sculpture and painting, and my brother was very creative. So I think I just thought it was a very sort of natural way to sort of marry together, my sort of love of the practical side of fashion, actually turning something that's on a piece of paper into, a 3D thing. And then also, obviously, the sort of more creative side.
Right. So where did you end up studying for?
I went to Central St. Martin's and did a degree course there. And it was a 4-year course. So I incorporated textiles as well, which I think has been a great thing for me through my career, because I've always wanted to create the fabric. And now and again we do our own prints, but more than anything we're creating with the embroideries and the beading, the actual design of the fabric.
Well, I was trying to think with my engineering degree how I can use it towards fashion, and I hear a lot about people saying there's like textile engineering. I'm like, so how can I jump into that?
Well, I think it's fascinating. I mean, obviously, sportswear has really taken the lead in innovation in fabrics. Strangely enough, I think that nothing, when you walk around and you see clothing, there's lots of new textures, but basically they're all sewn together with machine still. I would have, you kind of imagine that, there would have been some other way of sort of forming clothes by now. Right. But I love reading about, these dresses that change colour with your mood and all of this thing. But I don't know. I think we quite love that sort of way that things are made.
Right. Still like there's I'm reading about tech in clothes. I think I went to New York Fashion Week last September, and there's that brand where now there's like digital things in your
Yes.
clothes, things are
Yeah.
changing color, so it does
Yeah.
make it interesting, but it is still, you're right, like still made
Yeah.
the same, just the sewing.
I think a lot of those fabrics is I think what women love about clothes as well, that we don't always realise, is the flow of them and the movement. And I think a lot of these fabrics, like the sports ones, they're more kind of firm fabrics, so maybe there's just a little bit more work to do yet.
So you started with bridal, correct?
No, we started with ready-to-wear. evening wear.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, because I read a lot about your bridal collection.
Yeah,
so,
no, well,
okay.
we did start it about 10 years ago, and it is probably about 40% of our business now. Love doing the bridal, very sort of rewarding to be part of people's history in that way. And, I think when I started in bridal, the transformation between then and now has been extraordinary. There's been a complete revolution in bridal wear, really, and I hope that we've sort of helped with that.
Yeah, I know, from the traditional shapes and styles, and even shades of white have all changed. And it's been very interesting. Now we're in wedding season, so I'm sure you're even more busy right now. Everyone's getting married.
Well, it's just all fallen into place with, it's becoming more in line with fashion, general fashion. The brides want to wait to the new collections, whereas it used to be that they would just go into a shop and that was what they'd be seeing. Now they're waiting, they're looking at the catwalk shows straight away. So, it's in a way, historically, if you think of the 20s and the 30s, they used to just wear a more extravagant version of what general fashion was. Right. And then it all became a little bit sort of historical, referencing historical things. But now I feel it's very much, I think the bride is thinking very much about it being a sort of her red carpet moment.
Right, and as it should be. It's our special day. Just a couple more questions. So between ready to wear, evening collections, and bridal, how many collections do you do a year?
Now I should count that up. So we have resort and full. We have 2 show collections. We have a bridal collection. We do accessories and evening wear. And I do a couple of different licenses. So yeah, we're getting on to sort of 9 or 10 collections a year. But the main ones obviously are 1 bridal a year and two ready-to-wear collections that we show in New York.
How do you stay inspired for all these collections?
To me, that's the bit that's the fun bit, actually, finding the inspiration and deciding whether it's the right thing for the moment. And then sort of working into it. And for me, it's that's when I sort of discover all sorts of things. I've got a great team, and that's the best bit.
Great. And who do you see wearing your clothes? Like, who's your ideal client?
Well, we're very lucky. We have such a diverse range of clients. I mean, we were talking earlier about how we dress obviously Dakota Fanning, but we also dress Helen Mirren, Oprah Winfrey, Oprah Winfrey and Adele. So all different shapes and sizes and ages actually, which is great.
I think that's what keeps a company going, if you're able to transverse sizes, ages, and so that's.
I think from very early on in our business, we've been selling internationally, and you have to take into account all different sort of, although women all over the world all want to sort of walk in a room and be admired in what they're wearing, which is obviously the goal. It's there is amazing diversity in the country. So I think when I put a collection together, I am really thinking about lots of different sort of women and what they're how they're wanting to look.
Great. Well, thank you. I didn't know if there was anything else you would like to share about being here at Neiman Marcus today, and how did that come to be, your trunk show today at Neiman Marcus?
Well, we're very excited. We did a trunk show in Los Angeles with Neiman Marcus. We haven't actually done many trunk shows in America, and it was just really fun, and we met some amazing clients. And they were telling me how wonderfully glamorous the Houston ladies are. So I thought I'd better get down there.
Oh, great. Well, we're happy to have you here. And thank you for your time today for the interview. It was super nice to meet you.
Thank you.